here, Bobby Dirkens here. Thank you so much for joining me for Breaking News with Bobby Dirkens. Listen, it's off season. It's over. We ain't got nothing left to live for except for the soap opera that is the transfer portal. I like how they're calling it a portal now. Do you like it? It's weird. It's basically the college football free agency. We know that. Coaches are leaving. People are still trying to explain what happened with Bama and Clemson. 2 weeks ago tomorrow night, because this is Sunday, January the 20th. 2 weeks ago tomorrow night, Clemson, it's like if some big bad tough guy walked in against Darth Vader. And everybody's like, boy, this is going to be a fight. Oh, Darth might get him. They walk in there. They punch Darth Vader in the goober. Rip that helmet off. Tell him he sounds weird. And then pokes him in what's left of his eyes. That's what happened 2 weeks ago tomorrow night. And that's all we have left. By the way, if you don't know me, I'm Bobby Dirkens. Hit subscribe. Hit notifications. It'll be the greatest decision you've made since the beginning of this year and probably the last. Best thing you've done. Only resolution you'll be able to keep. If you started off last year fat, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, probably going to be fat the rest of this year. You can go eat anything you want. You don't have to get your tail up off a couch. And Lord, whatever you do, stay away from a gym because they'll cut you a good deal. I know you ain't coming back. Glad you're here. College football has the transfer portal. We have coaches who switch teams. Alabama has lost a whole bunch of people and then hired in a bunch of people. And that was my breaking news in college football. Alabama lost offensive coordinator Mike Locksley. He's taken over as head coach at Maryland. Josh Gaddis, co-offensive coordinator, he's leaving to run the offense at Michigan. Good luck, Josh. Dan Enos, I like that name, very international sounding. He's offensive coordinator at Miami. That's a mess down there. Offensive line coach Brent Key. He's the key to everything. Leaving for his school he used to go at. He's at Georgia Tech. And co-defensive coordinator Tosh Lupoe. I'm sorry, I'm from the South. I can't pronounce that. He's in the Cleveland Browns organization. Good luck there. Hope they pay well. Look, this is what we have left. To talk about coaches, talk about recruiting. I like talking about recruiting. Some of the transferring crap gets kind of interesting. But the coaching things, really no big deals going on right now. Saban, he trades them out. He changes coaches like people changes air filters in their homes. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that means you need to go change your air filter right now. I mean, seriously, I want you to stay on my video, but for your financial purposes of your heating and air system, you might want to hit at least pause and go change it. Lord, I change mine all the time, and he changes coaches more than I change my air filter. Look, if we think that Alabama is going to be bad because of coaching changes, you don't know football. Now, if anybody else changed coaches like this all the time, there might be trouble. And you go, whoa, Bobby, are you even saying that about Dabo Swinney? Well, here's the deal with Swinney. He's only lost 2 coaches in 8 years. yeah, we kind of retain our coaches. They kind of want to stay there. Brenton Venables makes well over $2 million. I don't really see him going anywhere. It's inevitable. People will move on. But I will tell you this. I've said this. With Clemson football. Now, if you're a football mind, if you're a realist, you'll buy into a lot of what I'm saying. Even if you hate these guys. Even if you despise the ground I walk on, you'll even go, I hate that guy, but he's right. You might even go off into a dark room away from everybody. Your wife, the family Bible, and you go in there and you go, I hate him, but he's right. His voice sounds like a weed eater with the handle pulled all the way in. But that weed eater sounding something is right. When you take the coaches that has been together at Clemson for this long, paired with Trevor Lawrence and the rest of the talent, that's a problem for the rest of the country. You don't play in the SEC. And if you played in the SEC, we'd beat the living piss out of Mississippi State and LSU. We'd beat Georgia. It'd be us and Bama once again, just in conference. There we go. I have respect for A&M, and I believe A&M is going to come out with the guns blazing for us this year because we ruined Jimbo Fisher's party down in Tallahassee. If there's none of you that get that, you don't have a football brain. You don't understand why. You don't get it. You are somewhere out chanting SEC so hard you don't get it. Jimbo Fisher is going to play us tough in our second game of the year this year. Only problem for old Jimbo is he's not playing against a true freshman who's splitting time with somebody he'll eventually take over the job. Nope. He won't be playing at his home stadium. There will be a 12th man. It just won't be in his favor. Alabama has changed coaches a lot. It's eventually going to affect them. As a Clemson fan, I'm going to tell you right now, if we were changing coordinators left and right, it'd affect us. I don't care if we got Trevor Lawrence out there or not. It is affecting you. You have too many former head coaches there who is just going down there to get them a little advisor job to turn around and be a head coach. I'm telling you, in the long run, that's going to, well, it's worked so far. Let me give you a stat. Out of the past 6 years, 6 national championships. I know the SEC went on that run, 6, 7 years, that every national championship was an SEC team. Florida, LSU, obviously Bama. And I know somebody's going, that's not the point. I'm talking about out of the past 6 years. You know who? Let me break down the national champions for you. ACC has won 3 national championships out of the past 6 years. 2 out of the 3 years was Clemson. Florida State was the other one. So that leaves 3 national championships left. So 6 out of the past 6 years, 3 of them was ACC teams. 2 of them were SEC teams. Alabama. Duh. And the other one was Ohio State. So out of the past 6 years, ACC has 3 national championships. SEC has 2, which is Bama. And Ohio State. Here's the point. It's affecting you whether you realize it or not. We'll take it. We'll take it. Listen, I've got a lot of respect for Bama. I got some good Bama following on here. Love to argue with you. If y'all know anything about me, I love to argue. Call my wife. Love to argue. That's how both my children got here. We started arguing. Here's the point. It was my team. I beg to God we could retain some coaches for at least a few years because it begins to wear on recruits. Now, if y'all want to keep doing that, that's totally fine with me. We're doing just fine at Clemson. I don't know if y'all have noticed. And if you hadn't, there's a game that happened 2 weeks ago tomorrow night. Go back, watch the replay. Just watch the highlights. Don't even bore yourself with it. You forget that out of the past 6 years, Bama's won 2 of them. Clemson's won 2 of them. Florida State won 1, and Ohio State won 1. I feel like I'm going hair lip there. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Point is, you're dominant. One thing that plays in our favor, we're retaining our coaches. You're not. That's a big deal. I don't care. I pointed at you. Against common thought, that's not bad manners at some old grandma who come up with a rule that she didn't like somebody pointing her finger in her face. You know why? Because she was probably some old hag that nobody liked and she was despised, and just because she was called grandma, everybody listened to her. She was a piece of scum, and they probably should have put her in a home somewhere. It is what it is. Listen, thank you so much for joining me. I hope we're going to get through this together. We're going to get through this thing together. I know it's a long time up until the very end of August, especially if you're a Clemson fan. Our season starts very end of August on a Thursday night against Georgia Tech. I know. Whether you love Clemson or whether you hate them, we can get through this together. I'm not going anywhere, and nor should you. Hit the subscribe button. I'm Bobby Dirkens. You remember, you keep showing up. Lord knows, I'll keep showing out. Bobby Dirkens.